Throughout this unit, we have been working on equations and inequalities. Today, we are going to look at word problems that involve equations and inequalities. Our learning goal is that we can write an equation or inequality from a word problem, and words to know are equation, inequality, and inverse. Cubes is a strategy I've used in previous grades to help students decode word problems. So since we are in math, a cube is a mathematical three-dimensional figure, so it'll help you remember. So the C represents circle keywords, U represents to underline the question, B represents to box any math action words, E means to evaluate what steps do I take to solve, and S is solve and check. And a lot of us forget to check our work. Let's look at this word problem together using the cubes strategy. So the first thing I'm going to do is circle keywords. So I'm going to read the problem, and while I'm reading it, I'm going to circle keywords. A store offers customers a $9.99 discount off every pair of shoes. So I think the $9.99 discount is very important. If Audrey paid $26.50 for her shoes, what was the original cost of the shoes? Next, it says to underline the question. So the question in this problem is, what was the original cost of the shoes? And then it says to box any math action words. So discount off is going to be a math action word. She paid is going to be a math action word. And then it says evaluate what steps do I take. So if I'm thinking about this, in my brain, I'm going to think, okay, I don't know what her original cost would be, so that could be a variable. So we could say C for cost. So she paid C amount of money, and then they took off $9.99. So taking off a discount would be subtraction, equals the amount she paid, which was $26.50. And now you have your one-step equation. To figure out C, you're going to have to get rid of the $9.99 by doing the inverse. So the inverse of subtracting is adding. So I'm going to add $9.99 to both sides. This will become 0 and cancel out, and you'll have C left. And then if I add this, and remember to line up your decimals. 0 plus 9 is 9. 5 plus 9 is 14. Carry my 1. Bring my decimal down. 6 plus 9 is 15. Plus the 1 is 16. Carry my 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So she paid $36.49. Remember, when it is a word problem, you should have a label, and our label is the money. Okay, let's try another one. So, the three owners of a construction company equally divide the total profit they make on the construction of any new home. If they each receive $27,000, how much did the company make total? So, some keywords I'm seeing here is that there are three owners. They equally divide the total profit, and they each receive $27,000. We're going to underline the question, how much did the company make total? Box in any of our math action words. So equally divided. And you could also say each received $27,000. Now we're going to evaluate what steps we need to take. So in my mind, I'm thinking the total profit is going to be divided by 3, but I don't know my total profit. So my total profit is going to be my variable. So I'm going to put that X is my total profit. So I have X, and the three owners are going to divide that by 3. And that's going to equal the $27,000 that they each individually get. Now that we have our equation, we can solve. So when we have division, we learn that we could multiply on both sides these will cancel and we'll be left with x equals, and then you can drop your zeros. 1, 2, 3. 7 times 3 is 21. Carry your 2. 3 times 2 is 6, plus that 2 is 8. So to build the house was $81,000. And remember, label, it's a word problem. Last week, Julian ran 8 miles more than Pranav. Julian ran at least 15 miles. Write an inequality to represent the number of miles Pranav possibly ran. So some important things that I'm reading here is ran 8 miles more than Pranav, and Julian ran at least 15 miles. The question they want me to do is to write an inequality. So I do not know how much Pranav ran. So Pranav is going to be my x. So x, and he ran 8 more, so that's going to be plus 8. And ran at least 15 miles. So that means I'm going to use the greater than sign to represent that the number has to be greater than 15 to represent at least, which kind of sounds backwards. But always go back and read the problem, make sure your inequality matches what it's asking. So at least would mean that this side over here would have to be greater than the 15. And now we would just solve. So if we have addition, we would have to subtract to get the inverse. This would become 0, and we have x is greater than 7, and we're going to put miles on this problem. Try this one on your own, and then unpause the video when you are ready to go over it. Welcome back. I hope you have worked the problem and now you are just checking your answer. A few things that I would have circled and squared and underlined is the $1.50 each is important, and the more than $28.50. And the question in this problem would be at least how many cupcakes did she sell? And some of the verbs that you could, the action words for math would be each, more than, and this at least right here. Now if you think about your equation, you could say that she would sell cupcakes $1.50 for each one. So each one means to multiply. So $1.50 times the number of cupcakes, because I don't know how many cupcakes. And so she needs to make more than the $28.50. And now you would just solve this the way you've been solving. So I would divide both sides by $1.50. These will cancel. You'll be left with C. And then remember, when you are dividing with decimals, we want to move the decimals out of the denominator. 1, 2, so 1, 2. So it'll go into this one time, 150. 5, 3, 1, bring your 0 down. Now we need to think about how many times would 150 go into 1,350, and you may be able to just count to that amount. But I know it's 9. Sorry, I need to switch to my pen. So 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 5 is 45, carry my 4. 9 times 1 is 9, plus the 4 is 13. So she must sell more than 19 cupcakes. And don't forget to label your answer. Now try this problem on your own as well. Pause the video and then come back and work it out with us. Welcome back. A few things that I would have circled is the $2,000 saved and the $637. I would have underlined the question, how much money will he have left to spend? So when I'm thinking about this, I know that I could say that X plus 637 would give me equal to the $2,000 he has saved, because that's the amount of money he can save. So to solve this one step, I would do the inverse, which would be subtract by 637. And I'm going to do it on both sides. Remember, we have to keep this balanced, like a balance beam. So my x would equal subtract. We're going to borrow from here, 10, make that a 9, make this a 9. This is the only 10, so 3. 9 minus 3 is 6. 9 minus 6 is 3. And then I have a 1. So he would have $1,363 to spend. Your to-do list before class: complete notes, write down any questions, work on your review. Reminders, you have a concept check on one-step equations, multiplying and dividing tomorrow, and your equations and inequalities test is Friday.